spiritual mystery life, and welcome. First, I'd like to just take care of some housekeeping things that we try to take care of, and that is online classes are going to be offered this year in 2020. We're really excited about that. And we want to let you know that the Star Nations magazine is now out. And isn't that a beautiful, just wonderful. So it's available and you can check it out. And if you decide you'd like to talk with me or check in with me, you can reach me through cvawter at pathwaynet.com. And it is with appreciation that all of you are here. You just have no idea. When I'm getting ready for this show, it's always a joy, simply joy. And it's just wonderful because I believe that we can bring in such manifestations to all of you that are here and just the wonderful things that are to be. And when we talk about, and I'm going to talk about the I am tonight, and when we think of the I am, it is the creative spirit of the universe. Can you think about that? Just think of that just for a second now. All the encompassing and everything that's present is the I am. It is now, and it has ever been, and it shall be. It just is. That's part of who you are. And I know I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. And I always tell folks that I am not here to change your faith base because we all started somewhere. I can't tell you how many churches that I have been in, and each one I learned something, brought it with me, and blessed them and said, I'm going. I kept searching and searching until one day I realized that the kingdom is within. The I am is within. And so when we take our faith base and move with that and bring forth the teachings, because most faith-based in the West anyway is in Christianity, in Jesus. And he's the main man. And my eyes kind of sparkle because I am so in love with Jesus. Just love him to death. And you know what? He loves me too. And he loves you. Can you sit for a second and think about when he said, I am that I am? I didn't make up these words. He did. And God, his Father, said, I am that I am. And so it's just that presence, that knowing and feeling that energy within yourself. If you think about it just for a second, and then if you say to me, I can't comprehend that, I always tell folks, put it on the shelf, because one of these days you're going to say, oh, I got to get that idea again. I got to listen about that. I have to think about that. When we manifest things that we manifest through our thoughts, all things are done through thought. And when we start to talk about things, I always tell people, when you're having a difficult time, go within yourself. Why? Because the kingdom is inside. God is inside of you. You are God. You are a speck of him. You have him inside of you. When you grabbed that first breath, when you came in, wasn't that an exciting moment for mom, for dad, and for you. Because you now have the breath of God in you. He made us such a magnificent machine. Such a magnificent, our bodies are so, they're just wonderful machines. You can heal yourself. You can do all kinds of positive things. You can think positive thoughts. You don't have to be, when somebody, I remember Jesus said, forget everything you know. Forget everything you've been taught. Why? Because we want you to start thinking of the I am that I am. I am a beautiful person. I am a good person. I am, and there isn't anything that you can, if somebody's having difficulty with teenagers today, you gotta think of a word. And someone shared this with me just recently, and that is that I am strong. I am courage, meaning I have courage. And those type of words are strong for you, not for anybody else. Because if you're feeling insecure and you don't have that, and you're thinking, oh, wow, how come I can't find that? Where am I going with this? Think about it. It's our thought process. When we make the decision, when we decide, and I hope each one of you will think about that after tonight's show, and think about, how can I change my thoughts? I can see, which I haven't been able to see before, a whole list. Polly Joe's here, Ann is here, Rochelle is here, Ann is here. Ann, hi, she's talking to Polly Joe. Well, anyway, it's just wonderful to be able to see the list of folks who are tuning in, and thank you for sharing. And we're just in the process of getting things going here tonight. But it's everything that we have is in divine order. Everything, all things are in divine order. Now you may say, well, now my life's not in divine order. And I'll say, yes, it is. I used to think that too, until I realized that we make our thoughts and whatever we do. If you're unhappy, you need to look inside and find out why you're unhappy. Then you have to make the change. Nobody else can make you happy. No one else can love you. You have to love yourself. You have to go within and say, I am love. In order for you, what if somebody says, gee whiz, I really want a relationship? Well, if you're not a loving, kind person inside of you and you don't generate that, well, how's somebody going to want to even get close to you? You have to let it flow through you and in you. When I think of the I am, because I work with the eternal flame, I always say, I am the flame of life in you, in me. I am the flame of love in me. Your life is my life, and your love is my love. Those are words that mean so much. And think of it as the rhythmic of the heart, the beat of the heart. It tells us. When you put your hand on your heart and you feel that, ba-boom, ba-boom, that's the rhythm. That's your personal rhythm. And isn't that, beloved, a wonderful vibration? when you know that God is in your heart, pulsating, and your life is so precious and it flows through. And when you think about vibrations and how they work, and you say to yourself, well, I don't know if I can get into that. Well, haven't you ever been in a situation where you say, this is deja vu? You'd be sitting there and all of a sudden you got goosebumps and your hair moves and wow, that's really intense. Well, that's spirit. That's the spirit side of life. They come in, they allow us to know that they're here, and they want us to be, they want to be there for you. You know, I have been told that the seven archangels have a team. They're like strands of threads, if you could think of it that way. And when someone calls out or sends up, I need God, or I'm having a difficult time, and that SOS, that's what I call it, SOS goes out, or some people call it a rocket. They'll send a rocket out. Okay, I need some help. They're coming. Why? Because God allows it. God wants them to be here for us. We have the angelic realm at our disposal. And we as Star Nations have people who do work, lots of beautiful work with the archangels. And so we're in tune with that, the whole fullness of what is to be. And when we are in the essence of God, life is absolutely so positive. And when you're having difficulty, you say, I can fix this. Well, how do you fix it? With your thought process. When you activate your thought process and you live in your authentic truth, then everything seems to go and cope. And really, if someone criticizes you and you say, oh my goodness, well, you don't have to accept that criticism. You can say, I am that I am, and I am in the presence. And know that God is with you at all times. If things aren't going your way, you just make the change. And you make the change through the process of thought, because thoughts are what make things happen. You, when you think of this, it's like you are in me and I am in you. You've heard that. That's perfect life, perfect love, and harmony becomes yours when you become creative and when you put everything in a divine energy, when you ask for that. That's exactly what you do. You don't have to go outside of yourself. It's all within. When we are going through difficult times, and I'm not sitting here saying that I haven't gone through some trials and tribulations, because I have. When I'm going through those trials and tribulations, I listen to what, if somebody knows about it, they'll give me their opinion or say something, and I listen very kindly, and I accept it, or I just think about it. But then I go into my own source, and I want them to be blessed. I want them to be happy. And the reason I choose that is because I'm happy. I am happier than I have ever been in my entire life. And I think that I have the right to say that because I'm a senior citizen, but I don't feel like a senior citizen. And I'm happy. I try to do things that make me happy because it's not somebody else's responsibility to make me happy. It's mine. So if I think I need to do hairdo, and in my case, I go buy a wig. So, and some of you know that I lost my hair after a very tragic tragedy in my own personal life, where my hair all fell out. And but I have a half a head of hair now, and it's way down my back, and so I think, oh, that's cool. And sometimes I wear just a headband, you know, over. And I see my friend Denise; she always wears those headbands, and I thought, you know what? I got long black hair like she does. I think I can just get me a headband like that, and I could. And so when I'm out running the roads and doing things, that's what I wear. I don't put a wig on. I just run out and do my thing, and then I think if they don't like it, too bad, because I'm happy. It makes me happy. I was standing there pumping gas and I could see my hair blowing and it was in the wind. And I just said, oh my goodness sakes, look at that's me. And, those are the fun things when you can make your own self laugh and have fun and knowing that we are the happiest that we can be. You can't expect somebody else to make you happy. I'm sorry. I tried to make someone happy for 30 years and I was unsuccessful. I have to make me happy. And when I decided to make the change, I was given an opportunity. And I don't think I've ever shared this online before, but I'm going to share it with you tonight. Because in October of 12, and of course, in December of 12, we went into the fifth dimension. Okay. Now this gets exciting. I got up in the early morning and went to the restroom. And in the process, I got dizzy. And so I just sat there for a few minutes. So I thought, okay, I think I can get up. So I got up and I started to walk out the door and bang, I fell backwards and sliced the back of my head open as I hit on the edge of the tub. And I had an out-of-body experience. And that out-of-body experience was, I had a choice. I could leave right then and there, or I could come back and finish what I was supposed to do 35 years ago. And I thought, oh. So I came back in. The EMT units were there and put me on a board, hauled me down the stairs and out the door and in an ambulance. And I came to, and I said to the young man, I said, my daddy died in an ambulance. And he says, ma'am, you're not dying on my watch. I guarantee it. And I thought to myself, I know I'm not because I've been given a second chance. And then the divorce, all that stuff happened, and I had to move. I didn't have to, but I chose to. And I prayed about it. I said, Jesus, I said, find me a place. And there was a paper that came, and I never looked at that paper. I always just threw it away. And that day they said, Constance, don't you dare throw that away. Look inside. So I looked and I saw this ad for a condo on Long Lake. And I thought, well, that's just right around the corner. And I thought, okay. So, and I couldn't drive because of the head injury. So I called a friend and I said, would you take me there? And we had to go down a really dirt road and really, really remote. And she said, Connie, don't you ever asked me to come here again because she was so stressed out. And I said, okay, all right, fine. Well, then I saw it and I knew that was where I was supposed to be. So I got out of um, my element and ended up living in a beautiful condominium right on the lake. I could not have asked for anything. It was just awesome. So there, and I was close to work. So I wasn't, it was everything was great. So, and I did that. And what I'm trying to share with you is that we are able, if we pay attention. And I knew that I had been given a second chance. And I knew that I had an opportunity. So as soon as I was given the okay to drive, and I called my niece and I said, I can drive. She said, okay, I'm coming. And you get people ready because we're moving you out. And so that's what we did. And it was a wonderful experience. It was sad, but wonderful. And I knew I don't know why I knew this, but I knew that I had a beautiful black mink coat. And the young lady that was helping us move, I just reached over and she was a businesswoman. And I said, here, I said, you will be able to wear this in that realm of where you work and do things, and you would benefit from this coat. And I said, and blessings. And so those kind of things, then of course, I moved here to Florida in 2014. So everything happens in divine order. And you think, well, why am I, I wasn't know if I was going to go to Florida or not. Well, I'm supposed to go to Florida. Didn't know why. But I said, okay, I'm following. I'm just going to go do it. Don't understand it. And when I got here, then I kind of like hit a brick wall. And then I started searching. And then Denise Francisco now she called me up when we were talking and she says, I want to interview you on my show. And I said, oh, okay. I'll let me think about that. So anyway, I called her back and said, yeah, I will do it. And so we did it. And so everything came. And when we did a whole hour show, and then she says, we got to do another show. And I said, another one. And she said, yes. She said, you're a star. And I said, no, I'm not a star. I'm just Constance. And she said, oh, Connie. So anyway, we ended up doing a second show. And at the end of the second show, she loved her. She says, Connie, you have to have your own show. And I said, what? And she went on and she said, come on, we got to think of a name. Well, at that time, I was reading a book that a friend of mine, I was just blessed to know this lady. And her name is Nellie Kane. And she wrote the book, Exploring the Mysteries of Life. And I was sitting there and the book was on my table. And I thought, what am I going to use for a name? And it was just like a voice said, well, Connie, why not the spiritual mysteries of life? So I said to Denise, I said, how about the spiritual mysteries of life? She says, that's it. So that's how I became involved with the Star Nations. And it's it's been the best of the best. I have been in contact with some wonderful people here in Florida that have just been wonderful and have some absolute beautiful spiritual teachings. But now here I am, and I started out just doing radio. But I remembered what was told to me on that October night when I hit the floor. You have an opportunity to go back in and finish and do the spiritual work. Because before I was married, I was a spiritualist. And I gave readings and I did all kinds of stuff. And I did that for probably 13 years, 14 years, long time. But then I got married and then my husband said, I'm not really crazy about this stuff. And so I stepped away from it. But you know what? Can I just share you a story? It's a good one. Now he is back. I've conversed with him, and he is back doing and working in the spiritualist church and developing himself. And isn't that a blessing? It may not have worked for us. Well, 30 years is a long time. But anyway, it's all right. The contract was over. We did our things. And Sandra Herrick is the one who really helped me with that. When we went and saw her one day, and she said, well, he broke the contract. That's it. You're done. So move on. And I thought, yeah, what am I sitting around here like this, moping around for? And then I realized that, and so all of the things that I have been doing and wanting to teach and help you folks understand is that when something, and I'll use the word negative, happens to you, if you have the fortitude and you have the ability to take and turn it inside, go inside and ask and do a meditation. If you have to take, and I'll use one of the analogies that one of my, my boss does this type of work. So anyway, he says, well, we'll just take all these chords and all these vibrations. We're going to stick them in a jar. Screw the lid on, poke some holes in the top, and then we're going to throw it as far as you can throw it. Throw it, on the other side of the world, if you have to get rid of it. And so, what is that? You say, what? So you do it. And then the next thing you know, guess what? Life is changing. Things are different. And it's a change in the mindset. And when you can take and change your mind about what you're doing and how you're going to be. And I have worked with some wonderful folks, and I have been taught by wonderful folks. Most of my teachers are in the spirit world, but I have a lot of friends and teachers still here. And so, and I always look at it like this, that everybody can be a teacher. I can learn from anyone. And I try to be the best listener when somebody's telling me. And so it's a fun thing. And I've been doing fun things, and I've been doing the Zumba thing and line dancing, and you just name it. And I had to take a little break from that. But you know what? You have to do it. You kind of space yourself so that you're not overdoing it. And then you just say, okay, now. And the fact is that when you're placing certain aspects of your thought process with the I am that I am, it's expressing who you are. I have heard a new phrase and I love it and I'm using it. And I'll share it with you. I don't know that if I need permission to do that or not, but it's something I incorporated, and it's I am enough. And I wrote it right on my mirror in my bathroom. And I thought to myself, I think I can incorporate some of that thinking in my realm, because I am a good person. And you are too. You need to look at yourself. You need to be able to say to yourself, let's say you have an ailment. If you can take yourself into meditation, because you're the boss now, right? This is your kingdom. You are the kingdom. You are God inside, and you can tell it. You're going to say, all right, now we're going to say, let's just say I have, well, I do have a liver problem. I don't anymore, but I did. And I say to myself, when I'm in meditation, I specifically go to that organ and I send the God healing element to it. And I tell my liver, you are healthy, you're loved, and I thank you for all the work that you do. Yes, you got to thank them. I mean, I thank my feet for carrying me around sometimes. You know what I mean? Because I walk a lot. So consequently, my feet get a little tired once in a while. I say, well, just hang it in there. You got to do it. Why? Because I like doing it. I don't do it. If I don't like it, I don't do it. Just that simple. If you're doing something because somebody else wants you to do it and it's not something you want to do, reevaluate that. Think about that a second. Because if it's not making you happy, why are you doing it? Because life is too short. Think about your spiritual life. How are you keeping yourself up and healthy so that you can do the things that are in your spiritual realm? Now, we all live in the physical. We are spirits. I know you aren't real comfortable with that, but we are spirits in a physical body. And it is our responsibility to take good care of ourselves. It is our responsibility to make sure. Now, when you're with and you have a significant other, or if you're with someone you really care about and you want to do things, and you say, okay, well, I can help that person, and by either saying, what does that person need? Do they need prayer? I can pray for that person. Is there anything else that that person might need? You go there and you say, if you know that they're having some kind of a problem, you offer them a healing. If they aren't receptive to that, you just say, oh, well, then I'm just going to send you a blessing. You see, we live in a world that is so, I'll just call it out what it is, it's dogmatic. But we have the ability to change it. We have the ability to go within and say, I am that I am. You all have that ability. When Jesus walked this earth, he tried to give us the foundation, and he did. But then people changed it and rewrote everything and changed it. Why? Well, in some cases, when he, like with Paul, he channeled Paul so Paul could write. Timothy was another one. Philip was another one. So you see, channeling has been an event that's been going on forever in different aspects of humanity. So when somebody says, well, Connie, how did you get started in doing channeling? And I said, well, I don't know. I just kind of we were sitting. And the first couple times that I did that, it was a little nerving. And I spoke in tongues. That kind of blew me out of the water. And I just thought, okay, I have to learn. And so then I started making requests that if I was to channel, if that's what my calling is now in my life, then I need to know that it is in divine order. That God, this is what God wants. Is this the avenue in which he wants me to walk at this time? And I want to make sure that everything is in order. And so then when that request was sent out, then what's she asking me? Can you tell us what is sitting? Oh, when I'm saying what is sitting. Okay. Um, when I sit, um, I just go in. It's like a little meditation. And I always try to find a time and I sit. I call it sitting, but it's a time when I communicate with the spirit world. But I communicate with them 24/7. It's like it's an ongoing thing, uh, especially at this house. I mean, they're here 24/7. That's all I can tell you, and it's wonderful. And I know I've shared this with you before. I think I have anyway. But when my daddy came in, I just sat here and I thought, whoa. And I just kind of, well, at first my mom was here and she was talking to me and she was telling me about a story. And I said, what are you telling me that story? That was the little story. I don't need to know that story. And then the next thing you know, she says, your father's here and he's bringing someone in. And I said, really? So you know, and so dad, all of a sudden I could see my father. And that was the first time in 30 some years because he's been gone that long. And I thought, oh, Dad. And he says, come on, Kent. He said, Connie, she can hear, she can see, she can do it all. Come on in here. And I couldn't believe it. And I said, Kent? And I thought, oh my word. And it was just a fleeting, wasn't a long period of time, but it was all there. And it was a nice little presentation. And I just was in awe. And I said, I couldn't believe it because I didn't know he had passed. And so then I thought, oh, who's gonna? So I got on the computer and I called it up, and sure enough, he had passed. I think it was in December 31st, 2016. And Kent was a family member, our family attorney forever. And him and my dad he did my dad's eulogy, and oh, they were just tight. So, and I was just shocked. And so you see, life gives us many things. And when you choose to ignite your spirituality and what you want and what is there, the angelic realm is of the I am presence. That shouldn't surprise anybody. You are the I am presence. I have seen so many folks try to express themselves. And you know what? It's okay. Um, Everything can be done if you choose it. I never thought that I would be doing what I'm doing right here today, but I am. And when it comes to your ability to do things, and you say, well, I don't get it that way, don't ever discard it because it comes when it's supposed to come. It happens when it's supposed to happen. And that's why I say, I mean, my in-laws, they love me. And they say, oh, we're sorry about all this and all that. And I said, don't be sorry. Love him and love me. We're good people. We just got off on the wrong track. And my kids, I tell my children the same thing. If you can find it in your heart, forgive and love them, then do it. If you can't, well, that's kind of like your bag to drag. I'm not going to sit and spend my lifetime, what I have on this earth, worrying about or trying to figure out, because what I asked for, God gave me. I said, please do not let me have a bitter heart because I want to love again. I am a loving creature. I love and I want to be loved and I want to love. So that's what it's all about. It's what do you want? It's it's up to you. And so many things uh, that you can think of is that I am the self of you. Like when you think of it, that's God. He's talking to you. He's telling you things, and all of the aspect of what is going to be, and you want to be who you are. Think of your presence and know who you are, and that you're a beautiful person. You're a beautiful soul. I mean, everybody has everything. And what we're doing, how are we doing it? What do we like to do? Are you doing the things that you like to do? Now, one of the things that I really miss in my life is my horses. And I am surrounded by horse farms. So, but I haven't done it yet, but I'm getting close. That I'm going to stop by one of the farms and ask them if I can feed their horses, maybe brush them down, just do anything for them. I don't care if you want me to muck out the barn, I'll muck it out. I mean, the stall, I would, just to be around them because they bring me such joy. Now, a lot of people say, well, I could find something else that I'd like to do better. And I love to play golf, and so I play golf, and I'm not real good at it, but I like it, so it makes me feel good, so I do it. See, that's what I'm trying to say to you tonight. If it makes you feel good, why not do it? Why not be who you are? You are the essence. You are that which is to be. You are the being. And life is the self of you. So think about that. Now, I know it's about 1:45, but I think I'm going to try to channel. They already said we're ready. And they've been ready, but they wanted me to finish my story. So here we go. And let's see what they have to say. We come to you with the essence of knowing all that there is to be. You are and have been created to love. We are the angelic realm who comes to you to do with you that you need, with whatever you need. If you seek our guidance and our wealth, we will help you. We will set and be with you and help you through. Everything that is to be will be. We will help you, guide you, and heal you. You just need to go in within and place yourself within your own kingdom. You are the light of the world. You are the light of, we are the light that connects with you. We are all encompassing. We embrace and hold you in the oneness. This is that which is to be. We are and will be with you at all times. All you have to do is ask and we will come. Place in your heart that request and know that when you place yourself and when you go into meditation and you request us, when you ask for specifics, you ask. And one of our greatest teachers and workers is Metatron. He comes in and knows. Please request. He will help and assist in any way. We are all here. We are all of that which is to be. We have Michael, we have Uriel, we have Gabriel, and we have Raphael, we have Jesus, we have the Holy Mother, we have every force that is out there that you know of. There is other angels, sandalwood. There is absolute significance of where you can go for resources. You are a unique being living in a physical body, but you are a spirit first and foremost. And you can do anything if you change your thought process and know that you are God. Okay, that's it. Okay, well, now I don't know if I'll remember everything. That I usually can't remember everything that they say, so I just let it go, and then I'd have to listen to the show and see what they say. But some folks can remember what they channel. Sometimes I can remember bits and pieces of it because it's not my thought process. It doesn't resonate in my brain. I don't know how to explain that, but I just let it go. And when I first closed my eyes, I could see like a square, and I stepped into it. It was like on a stage, and and there were drapes, which I have behind me. But these were, and the drapes opened, and I stepped in, and it was there. Bang! I was there. And so when they work with me, and I hear the words, it's like it comes in blocks, and then I'm able to bring it out. So it's just the way it is. And then it's like sometimes when I do readings for people, I never can remember the reading, and that's all right. That's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. And then sometimes I can remember, but most of them I don't, and that's all right because the reading is for the individual. It's not for me. And I try to just let myself be as like, oh, okay. And I don't let myself get hung up on a lot of stuff anymore. But that comes with age. But I'm having so much fun. It doesn't, and that's another thing too. I heard somebody say that because I made a statement of them, and they said, "Ah, don't you be saying that." Uh, and they said, "How do you feel? How old do you feel you are?" And I said, "Well, you don't want to really know how my little self inside is very youthful." And and they said, "Well, all right, that's what you want to do. You want to be thinking like that because when you think youthful, you stay youthful. If you, oh, I got all these aches and pains and I got this, and you're going to think old, you're going to be old." So I don't think like that at all anymore. I just think about the young person that I am.
Connie,
Yeah.
this is such good stuff. I was wondering if you would share with us your feeling, your intuition about what is the fifth dimension, because many people are holding that kind of energy. And what can we expect of the fifth dimension in 2020 that your team can share with us?
Well, I think that 2020 is okay. 2020 is going to be an exciting year because let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We'll be going in, it's an 8 year. 8 years we've been in the fifth dimension. 8 years. All right. Now, that says, but let me say this first, that the fifth dimension is an energy of love. The big word is compassion. And what is compassion? Love. It's just another word for love, but it's compassion. That's the avenue in which we will be walking. Everything is going to be, it's going to take years. I mean, look at it took Jesus 2,000 years, and look at how Christianity has changed in even in the last 70 years. So you can imagine what we have to look forward to. And I definitely want to be around for a long time, because I'm going to be youthful and young, and I'm going to be thinking, because I want to be in 2020 with all my bells and whistles going, because we are going to be implementing some awesome stuff. Just channeling, just it is going to be right off the charts. And I won't be the only one doing that. It's other folks as well. But for some reason, I just know that we are geared up and going forward. The fifth dimension is a love dimension. The archangels and every hierarchy that has come through has indicated that this is what we've been waiting for. People will try, I mean, you have to change. You will change. You'll say, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. In order for you to survive in the fifth dimension, you will have to change your thinking in order to move. And that's a positive. That's a positive. That's not a negative. Religion is not going to go away. It's just going to get more loving and more fulfillment, and people are going to be able to go and say, okay, that's what I've been waiting for. And the churches are all going to accommodate. They have to, otherwise, used to be fire and brimstone. It's not anymore. We're not doing that anymore.
Connie, I was just looking at some of the people, almost all the people that are in your live chat. Many of them are channelers, and they
Right?
have channeled. And there's a few that I know can be channels. In fact, there's a person in here that had a card drawn for them last night from Polly Joe.
Okay.
That was all about being the teacher, being the channel, that she
Okay.
has this gift and to step into it. And so I think many of us, we don't call ourselves channels, and that kind of thing. But I think we're going to have to step up to the plate.
It's the light bearers that are out there and have the ability. Yeah. It will all of a sudden it'll be there for them. Mm-hmm. They're going to just, all of a sudden, it's going to be something, and you're going to say, oh, wow.
And for instance, Kaylee, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. She says, loving this. Oh. And she also says, something I've been wondering about, once we are fully in the fifth dimension, how will the training ground change for souls? It is my understanding we come here to learn. How is this environment shifting going to change that training ground? Things are not going to be as harsh. So how and what will we learn? That's a good question.
Well, that is a good question, because what we're going to learn is what we live in, that harshness. Okay. And it's going to take a long time for us to get to where we really need to be and where we will be. Because once it's without me getting off onto something else here, but let me just say this, that as we move forward and as you start to grow, and push the button and say, yes, this is what we're going to do, and you make that commitment. um, right now we're indoctrinated with all kinds of things, and people are bringing all kinds of ideas, and everything is computerized and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's good because it helps enlighten people and wake them up, as if they, otherwise I wouldn't be here. So what we need to do, and what you're anticipating, is how do we, if we don't have lessons, our lessons don't have to be as severe. I mean, we've really gone through a lot, but it's going to take us thousands of years. So a lot of embodiments. You're going to have an opportunity to come back and learn again and again and again. I mean, we didn't all just pop up and say, "Oh, here I am, and I guess this is it." No, it's not. We have. I mean, I have been exposed and shown my past lives, and so and knowing who I am. So it's pretty private, and it'll always stay private. But let me say this: that going forward, whatever I can do, if I have to re-embody, and I have been given that opportunity in this lifetime, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do what needs to be done. And if I have to come back to help raise the consciousness yet, I'll come back in and do it again. It's necessary. Only the next time I come in and the next time you come in, we won't have to look into our Akashic records. We're going to know it. It's going to come with us. That's what's new. A lot of folks don't know that yet, that the fifth dimension, all these people that are being brought in and born, all the folks that were born in the fourth dimension, and oh well, they're just going to wait. Oh my, yeah, they're going to say, I got to get in there, and and they'll finish with their whatever they're. If they come in and they're crippled, if they have a short life, they go back in, they go out, they come back in, and bang, they're ready to roll. Why? Because it's the new. It's new. It's exciting, and God is saying, this is what I've been waiting for. And I want my people, my children, to experience the goodness, the elements of that which is to be. So I hope that kind of helps you. But just know that as we move forward, it's going to get exciting. I can't see what you're saying. I get that. Oh, it's a slow process. It is a slow process, and I guess that we all. And you know what? Um, I don't know how old you are, but goodness sakes, whatever age you are, you have an opportunity to reverse things and make it happen. You can do anything you want to do. If it's channeling that you want to do the best you know how to do and ask for the best. Don't just say, oh, well, yeah, I do that. No. Get excited about it because it is exciting. And when we do readings, if people love your readings and you're accurate, and if you're doing it in your authentic truth, and I said that to my ex-husband, by the way, when he was talking to me about, he was starting to do readings and billets and stuff like that. And I said, well, do it in your authentic truth. If you don't do it in your authentic truth, then it's not worth doing, because you're not going to be touching. You have to do it in your authentic truth. And that is, I mean, I'm sure everybody on the team would say, yeah, it is. But thank you so much for all of you being here this evening. This is, and I know I didn't do any readings, but you know what? This is more important.
And also, Connie, we want to share that you'll be back next month on your regular evening.
Yes, we will. On December, I think it's the 4th or the 5th. I can't remember now.
I can check for you. It's the first Thursday.
Right.
First Thursday of the month, which is the 7th.
Oh, it's the 7th. Okay.
December, I think. Wait. Hang on. Let me get this straight here. I don't want to give the wrong. It's the 5th. The
It's the
5th.
5th. Okay.
Mhm. At 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. And I will continue this story. You know what I'm saying is that we have to start, and that was one of the things that they said to me. You need to get on and you need to start talking about the I am presence. It's necessary. It's the time. So, it's nice to do readings and things like that for everybody, but it's more important that I give you the message that I get when I channel. And the fact is that the I am is this is it. And this is the avenue in which we're going to be walking. And gee whiz, is there any? Oh, I always like this, and I want you, and I read it at the end of my shows, and I want to send you all blessings and lots of love. But here it is: live for the joy of living, and love for the joy of loving, and give the joy of giving, and serve for the joy of serving. And blessings be, everyone, until we see each other again. And that'll be December the 5th, the first Thursday. And blessings be.